that are not with us right now. So just staying present with me. Okay. So funny, I've used Zoom for years, but with all these new changes, I feel like I'm a beginner again. And I feel like I'm a beginner again with many things. Can you relate to that? With the way the world's changing. So let's be present here now, and let's launch the 2020 Quantum Leap Expansion for spiritually centered business leaders. So first of all, I want to congratulate you for being present here this evening, because you identify with being a spiritually centered business leader, which says to me you've done a lot of work already. You've been working perhaps for lifetimes, and you've chosen as your purpose to come here at this time. And boy, oh boy, it's an interesting time to be here. So let's go. What is really possible right now? Well, for us leaders, absolutely everything. There has never been a more profound time for us to truly step fully into the purpose and reason we're here. And I think most of us are ready to go in the sense of our spiritual gifts. So that is a fantastic thing. I'm sure, like myself, where you're still continuing to access new realms and access new light and discover new parts about your gifts. And I'm sure that journey will be with all of us for the rest of our lives. But this other part, this bringing into harmony with the physical, this choice that we've made to come here as human beings and with these gifts, is sometimes missing a little bit of the love and nurturing it really requires. And so this evening, I want to talk about how we can together create a quantum leap expansion. And these aren't just fancy words. The stuff that I'm witnessing is so fast at the moment, and I know you are, that we have an opportunity right now to create this quantum leap expansion beyond what we thought was possible in the timelines that perhaps we've been operating with previously. Also beyond what we've thought perhaps is possible within our businesses as well. The way that I've done business in the past isn't the way I need to do business now. It's a relearning for all of us. And I've been fortunate to have gone through this relearning several times with the different upgrades. And I want to share some of the wisdom with you this evening, and then we'll move through. So what is really possible right now? Oh my goodness. For those of you that do channel or connected into other realms, you know that what is really possible right now is absolutely incredible. So I want to talk about why now is the time to take a quantum leap. And tonight I want to speak to 3 very important questions, which I'll share with you in a moment. And then we're going to complete with an activation process to allow you to integrate and align. Very important part. How often do we receive wisdom and education from more the 3D realm, and then we take it in through our minds, and then it kind of gets stuck? Or how often do we go into an activation spiritually and we get all the energy shifts and transference, but then we have to apply it to the physical? And so this is an integration of both, an alignment of both. So I'm very excited to be running this evening. So let's look at these 3 important questions. Why now is the time to take a quantum leap? What deliberate decisions can you make to step forth into your upgraded self? And how are you going to integrate both your spiritual gifts and your physical gifts for a major, major up level? There is a big awakening. We all know it. We've all been through multiple, without a doubt. But there is a major calling for us to rise. And it's not simply to rise within our spiritual being, our existence when we're in meditation or when we're channeling or when we're out there. It's a major call for us to rise integrated as human beings on this earth, which we've chosen at this time. There's a big difference from continuing to go out and just hoping things will come through, and actually that balance between attraction and, I'm going to say action, but I know some of you might cringe with that word, but in a sense, I'm going to say activation. So chaos is going to continue. We've already predicted this, and all those that are accessing wisdom from above, this will continue. This is a great thing for us in the sense of more and more awakened people on the earth, and sparks are flying like crazy. So a grounded approach is the only way forward. I've spoken to a lot of light workers that have gone down rabbit holes and got stuck, and I've suddenly been having phone calls nearly every day for people to be balanced again. So I'm seeing it already in a massive way, and perhaps you might be seeing it with some of your clients too, or the people around you. Humanity needs us more than ever to step into our integrated selves. It's a little bit crazy out there, and some people, believe it or not, are actually happy with the craziness because in a sense it's like keeping them distracted from the real work. I don't know if you could also aware of this, I'm sure you are, but the depressions, the suicide and illnesses on the rise. I was just actually with an incredible expert just a couple of hours ago talking about autoimmune and the way that many of our bodies are just reacting to these changes. I've certainly walked that path personally as well. Energies can be erratic, so a grounded approach is the only way forward, and humanity needs us more than ever to step into our integrated selves. The business landscape has changed dramatically. We need to do business differently. It's not just the loss of jobs for many, but those of us that have businesses, the same ways in which we would market or access our clients have changed in a huge way. So again, we must be integrating. If we're seeing the development of our business as a dense to-do list, and our gifts as this enlightened opportunity to get wisdom and messages coming through, and they don't come together, we're going to end up heavy and tired, and we're going to feel drained from our businesses versus feeling fueled. So we need to find a way to integrate these so that we can feel fueled by the way that we are doing business. And I refer specifically as one example to social media, because social media is absolutely shifting and changing before our eyes. And people can sniff anything that isn't completely truth or authentic right now. Everybody's on hyper alert. And so for those of us as leaders, we need to be more and more honest and transparent than we've ever needed to be before. And leaders must ensure, I repeat this message just to get this really clear, that they have an integration between the spirit and the physical. So I just want you to ask yourself quietly now, is that you? I mean, and allow yourself to listen to your ego as well, because I really had to ask these questions. How integrated am I? And I wasn't as integrated as I thought I was. Several months back, I've been through an extreme up-leveling yet again in the last 3 months. And I can say that I can see the balance happening now. Again, it needs to be continued to develop and change as the world changes as well. So why did integration become my greatest priority? Well, this actually happened quite a long time ago. I get told a lot when I'm interviewed around the world for different podcasts and things that it's very rare to meet someone like me. And I kind of find that a bit strange. I don't think I'm that rare. But in the sense of I've had a very big wealth and business career, but I'm also extremely connected to spirit. And to have those two parts is rare. I don't know if I believe that, but I am starting to learn that many people with spiritual gifts are not able, or for some reason, either honoring, or they're just not able, or they just don't know how to integrate the business with their gifts. And so I'm becoming more and more passionate to help people actually get this, because boy, oh boy, when you put something like a currency, we're going to call it money, in the hands of spiritual leaders, of leaders who are here to do good, you want to see humanity shift. I know that money isn't everything. It's still the exchange of the 3D right now. I know we're facing different shifts to different financial systems, but it's a frequency. There's a giving and receiving frequency that's related to it. So why has it become important to me? Many of you may know my story, but many years ago, I mean, I've been awakening since I remember. I actually believe I came through on a much higher dimension than I even realized until recently. And I've just been struggling as a human to try and allow myself to be seen. And so my sense of coming into the world was at 3 years old to take responsibility for my family. And at 3 years old, I was sitting around the table thinking, I need to look after this family. It's kind of insane. And I'm sure you've got your story. I always thought living on the edge and being a bit of a superwoman was the greatest way to live my life. And because of that, I've lived all around the world and I've done some pretty amazing things in 46 years. However, it has not been for my highest good in the sense of my physical body and my physical reality. I definitely have lived in denial of wanting to be a human. I don't know if you relate to that. I have lived in denial of the fact that I find it much more peaceful and easier zoning off into the ethers and receiving beautiful love and kindness from there. And at times I've really turned against humanity in the sense of just not really liking being here as a human. So I had quite a journey to do, and I talk about that as my reinvention journey, but a very profound journey. And this is what so many of our clients and peers are going through right now, this profound wake up of the reality of the world they thought was a certain way isn't the way. So for me, I needed to become a new kind of superhero. And that has been an incredible journey of integrating both my business life, my personal life, my spiritual life, my life as a mother to my fur babies, and a lover to my family and friends. So this new type of superhero. And the reality is, I don't feel like I did actually have a choice. Well, I guess I still had a choice, but it was either walk into the ocean and end my life. And I faced that many, many times. In fact, last year that was present for me, or just continue to upgrade and continue to become a home to myself. So I'm not sure if you relate to any of that with your own version of story. Just as a little bit of just getting to know me before building a little bit of trust before we do some activation work. But I've walked many paths, shifting and changing to better my life. I started as a registered nurse. I delivered my first baby in Africa. Many years after that, I then became a pharmaceutical drug rep. So when you look at some of the stuff that's happening in the world right now, I have a deep understanding of what's actually happening there. And then I decided it was time to reinvent myself. Now, there's nothing to say that first chapter wasn't absolutely my path. But what those 3 stages of my life gave me were the abilities and the skills to be able to move to the next stages. Then I became an author, a lifestyle coach and speaker on human transformation. And that was really just the beginning, quite a lot of innocence there, trying to find my way to where we are today. I continued to transition into new pathways. I wrote my first book, Get Real, Why Wouldn't You? Many, many years ago. I built my first $1 million tech company, Empowered Success. That was one of Australia's top wealth coaching companies, and a technology that was assessing behaviour, attitudes, behaviour and personality. So that was, I was very proud of that company. Moved on to move that profiling system, which helped thousands of people into the wealth performance profile. So it had a very much a business transition here, went from the caring and loving to the very much the strong masculine business. And boy, oh boy, was that a ride. And I loved every second of it. And it, of course, ended in burnout. That's the only way it can when it's imbalanced. Went on to then, when I lost my $1 million business overnight through my business partner committing fraud, I then chose to go and work with the traffic girls over in Thailand and Cambodia. And that was a huge part of my heart expanding and a very big part still of my mission today, to see the end to using children as sex slaves. It's a huge one for me. Then in the middle there, bouncing back from lots of other life stuff, I took entrepreneurs, high net worth entrepreneurs, over to Amazon and Rio de Janeiro for Carnival. And it led this group of 43, I think it was, entrepreneurs, you can see there. And we were in CEO magazine, and then went on to become the face of Amazon education company. So you can probably start to see the transition there. Lots of caring and loving work, and then moving into the business. And again, I don't regret any of that, but I understand now why I needed to walk that path, so that I'm able to help more and more light workers balance up the light, the gifts with the strategic modeling and vision that's completely integrated and aligned with your essence. And that's something that you'll see me do a lot more of in the future. So the Human Reinvention Formula was birthed. I was told in October 2019 to download this book. I was told I needed to have it ready for this year. It is absolutely 100% what the world need right now, and so became international bestseller. Launched this in Uluru at a Cosmic Consciousness conference in January the 21st, one of the major conjuncts. So a very powerful time. And since then, gosh, life has been on steroids, that's for sure. Just about the book, that's on Amazon. It was created one of the lowest times of my life. I was questioning staying as a human on this planet at the time. And it's the formula that yet again brought me through and allowed me to rise and reinvent myself. So this is a process I want to quickly run you through. I just want to see what the time is. Beautiful. And quickly run you through here. And so this is the 3 process. You can look at this in the book, but I want this to be the context of our activation this evening, because it's a beautiful structure that we can look at. We can kind of get the basics of tonight. We don't need to get too much, but so you understand that there's a structure to this bridge between the spiritual and the physical. So, of course, activation is connecting in with our higher self. It might be our soul family, our star families, and any of our masters, angels that you choose to connect in with. It's the activation piece that is that I'm working with both spiritual leaders, but also those that are still waking up, and it's just as powerful. Obviously, spiritual leaders, we can go deeper and to higher levels faster, higher realms faster. But for those that are just waking up, the processes are still activating them. So I'm very excited about this process for everybody it comes in contact with. I had a lovely man stay here, a dear friend of mine, and he read the first 3 chapters while he was here. Within 24 hours, he was fully activated and changing the entire direction. So this is an activation tool, the book in itself. So anyone can access it for $4.99 on Amazon. So it's a very accessible tool to be used. So the activation, then collaboration. Activation is all about ourselves. It's the wake up. It's the connection. It's access to wisdom. It's all those parts of the process. Collaboration then is about probably one of the most important parts of the bridge between our gift work, our spiritual work, and our physical reality as far as expansion, leveraging, and resources is collaboration. And yet it's a piece that's so ignored. I had a meeting yet again this morning. I constantly am in contact with leaders who talk about collaboration. They all say, yeah, we need to collaborate, and yet no one's collaborating. People are still running their businesses on their own, trying to get there, trying to be well known, trying to get their clients, trying, and that's not working. And so collaboration right now, and I'll break it down a little bit in a moment, is one of the most powerful parts of this model, and yet people don't understand it. It has absolutely been the part of the model that has helped me expand globally every time I've chosen to, is through the collaboration model. So I'll run you through that in a moment. And then the third part is expansion. Now, of course, expansion is bringing our gifts into the world, having them exchanged for opportunity, other resources, could be a currency, could be more time, there's this whole opportunity. And of course, we look into possibility, structure, and leverage. We need to be leveraging like crazy, because if we're truly here as a purpose for humanity and we're doing things one by one, it doesn't mean we can't see clients one by one, but if we're not having an impact beyond that on some level, then we're probably not collaborating, which means we're probably doing it solo. And I have walked all of this to speak with complete authority about how important it is for all of us to activate, collaborate, and then expand and get those in the right order. So stage 1 is activation. So we're going to play with that a little bit in a moment. 3 parts of the process is to unpack. So I'll give you a little bit of a more of a conscious experience of that versus heady. someone reads the book, they'll get an energetic experience and a bit more heady, but we'll be able to do an activation because you're at the level we can do that right tonight. Disrupt, so you're going to need to disrupt. Unpack is about getting truth to the table. Disrupt is about shaking things up, removing ego, challenging self. It's something we should all be doing on a regular basis, is disrupting ourselves from our own selves. And then the third bit there is as upgrade. So continually unpack, disrupt, upgrade, unpack, disrupt, upgrade. And we could be doing this multiple times for multiple things in our life that are happening, and also guiding others as well. So this is all about the energetic shift. It can look like a physical process for those that read the book, but for those of us that are working with light, you understand that it's all about shaking the energy up, so there can be some shifts, and some major shifts can happen in this process. The next stage is the stage, like I said, I'm a real strong advocate for, and I'm actively working with this stage myself in my own life. Of course, I'm actively working with all of this. I couldn't share this unless I was, and that's collaboration. So let me define collaboration casually for you tonight. Collaboration is, it's the giving and receiving. It's the working together. It's the 1.1 doesn't equal 2. It equals, exponential. It's collective. It's not, if I give you an apple, you have to give me an apple back. It's, how can we together, produce apples of all varieties. Now, if we're all light workers, we're not in competition with each other, because not one of us has the same exact gift. And yet I see all the time light workers doing this work on their own. And, and I know a number of you, actually, I know people on the line tonight knows all about Ubuntu, which is really what collaboration is all about. And yet we're still not really seeing it in full flight. And so I'm committed, particularly this year, to leading the way with some collaboration circles, bringing peers together. And, I'm not going to be sitting at home anymore, building my business on my own when I am surrounded by such phenomenal business leaders like you guys, when we could be co-creating. So I've just made some significant steps to do that here in Noosa, and it's opened up a pot of honey so quickly. So collaboration is all about revealing. So we have to understand who is in our circle, I call it the quantum leap circle. Who's there, defining like what's their value. Does there need to be some releasing? Does there need to be some re-engaging? Does there need to be some attracting of new peers? Going through all of that today, actually, with one of the women I'm collaborating with. Defining the value of perhaps the people there, the people that are going to be there, my value within the collaboration circle, and then trading value, accessing joint resources. A couple of women and I talking about purchasing property together, co-creating, living off the land situations. I mean, it just goes on and on. But these aren't dreams, these are happening. These are happening right now, and they absolutely are making a massive difference, and will continue to make a massive difference. So I want to see more and more light workers collaborating together and removing any sense of competition. I think Matt Kahn talks about that. We want to be mature collaborators that really lift up each other. So it's attracting in your tribe, attracting in your people, attracting in your circle, but it's real exchanging. It's ensuring that 1 and 1 equals massive output. We're all, those of us that all running around going to get online programs right now, right? All these people running around to get online programs. Has anyone ever thought that perhaps you could share online resources? Not many people think that way. There's some of us that are, and it's really bringing some great fruits into our life. Stage 3 is expansion. So we've got activation, collaboration. Expansion is the result of activation, collaboration. It's about the possibilities. It's about structure. Many of us never used to like structure until I recognized that structure equals freedom. Structure does not take away freedom. We were talking this morning about the alternative structures. How can we have business models that are set up? And I've had to do this over the last few years. I'm not sure if you had, where I literally wake up in the morning, I calibrate where I'm at, and I make a decision if I'm seeing anybody that day. And it means cancelling, it means contracting clients in and cancelling sometimes, it means shutting myself down, but it's doing calibration exercises to find out if you can fit with the structure. A physical structure is there, it should be feeding our soul in essence, it shouldn't be limiting us or making us unwell. And so I love working with leaders to get that structure right. Also their leverage model. So how can you leverage so things become exponential, and yet again, so that you can impact more of humanity, which is what I'm sure many of our purposes are here this evening. That's all about ultimate impact. So these are building the models to support you while you're impacting humanity. So this is all in my book, and I'm also going to help you the opportunities to have a chat with me over the next couple of days if you want to get a little bit more clarity on this for you, and that will be complimentary. So do you need support to activate, collaborate and expand? The question for you to consider. I think we all need support to activate, collaborate and expand. And so I encourage you to take the opportunity that I am presenting with you this evening to be able to continue to grow beyond tonight. So I am going to invite you, and this is quite strange that you would do this up front. So I'm doing all of this up front, so when we go into our meditation activation, you can go deep. But I am inviting you to receive some support from me with the activation, collaboration, expansion of you, your lifestyle, your wealth, vehicles, your network. So whatever it is you're needing support with, I am inviting you to receive that support. And how I'm going to be helping you with that is I want to connect with you, and we will assess what areas need immediate priority. And in one session, I'm going to help you support to set up a reinvention plan. So basically a reinvention plan or a model, whatever it is that you need. One size doesn't fit all. There's absolutely no way that there is one way to do anything with this integration. My role is to identify your path of least resistance, and so that you can move through to the next level quite rapidly. Some of the things we might talk about on the call will be activate and upgrade by disrupting old business paradigms and thought patterns, translating your purpose into a powerful business master plan, attracting and aligned collaborative partnerships to really get your mission. That's a big one. Build sustainable leveraging pathways. Less is more, and expanding with complete confidence as your spiritual and financial worlds are fully integrated. So that just gives you an idea of what some of the things we could talk about. So I am putting out a consult call, and that call, again, like I said, I'm doing this all in a bit back to front, which is really showing you as well that things have changed. And then we're going to go and do the meditation in just a moment. So if you want to take an opportunity, I'm creating 7 sessions between Friday, Saturday and Monday together, 45-minute sessions. They're no cost to you. Why am I doing that? Because we're still getting to know each other. Okay, and I understand the importance of trust, particularly when we are very sensitive and powerful beings. And I'm able to do this, which is fantastic. So if you want to just jot down that link now or my email, that would be fantastic, because in a moment we're going to get on with this activation. And as promised, I think I'm just on 30 minutes, which is great. So we've got time to be able to go in and do some of the energetic stuff, which I know I'm sure some of you have been interested in. So if you've written that down, so it's a calendly.com, deep dive with me, a 45-minute session, no cost to you. And we can work through any part of the model. We can diagnose some of the challenges that are happening for you, or just opportunities. So I do hope that at the end of the session there'll be 7 sessions booked out. I'm here to serve you, and really want to get to know you and where you're at. All right, so I've left it. I'll take this down now so we can connect without slides. All right, just bear with me here. Okay. So I hope you're ready now for us to go into the activation side of things. I think I've just got to get all these share screens sorted out with Zoom. Okay, so we're just going to open up the screen here. All right, okay, there's just one little chat here. Oh, kind messages, beautiful. All right, so I hope you can see me. Oh, something just went dark. Okay. So if you're ready now, I would love us to get ready to go nice and deep and really go where you need to go on this journey with the intention of integration and activation this evening. Okay, so to begin and get started, I'd just like you to have your feet on the floor. If you're on the bed or anything, I just want you to wriggle your toes. And let's just all together now ground into where you are right now. Okay, so, and let's do three of my famous, not famous, ever since I've been doing events for about 16 years now, everyone does the AHA breathing, and I meet clients that I have worked with like 15, 16 years ago, and they go, are you still doing that AHA breathing? So yes, I'm still doing the AHA breathing because it's a great way to really release. Now through this activation, some of it might be quite active, some of it might be quite relaxing. Release any expectations of what's meant to occur and happen here this evening. That is the greatest way for you to receive. And just trust that this process will be a pure process. I'll be working with my own team, and they'll be ensuring that I stay on track and in a place that is serving you fully. So let's do 3 big AHA breaths. Take a deep breath in, and a big AHA. Take a deep breath in, and a big AHA. Take a deep breath in, and a big ha. Just settling in now to your chair, or if you're lying down. And I'm not going to be playing music tonight until I get my brand new mic that's going to be able to have beautiful music coming through for you. We're just going to work with energy and silence, and you're going to be listening to the sound of my voice. So when you're ready, I'll get you just to close your eyes now. And as you close your eyes, I just want you to become present into this moment now. And just allow yourself to settle. I know I've been doing some heady stuff, but just allow yourself to settle into your body. I want you to feel your feet now. If you can place them on the floor, that's great. Or if you've got your slippers on or whatever it is, just feel your toes, wriggle your toes, and notice how they touch the ground. And let's acknowledge Mother Earth right now. Acknowledge that there's Mother Earth is holding us right now, and she does an incredible job. And sometimes we forget to call on her to hold us when things are a little crazy. So just taking another breath, take a deep breath in, and ha. And another breath, take a deep breath in, and ha. And one more breath. Take a deep breath in, and ha. Now, as you're feeling your feet or feeling yourself being held by Mother Earth, and just acknowledging her now, thanking her for the work she does in holding us. I want you to imagine the energy right at the core of the earth, or your energy from your feet going right down into the core of the earth. And then also being able to bring that energy up, right up through the core of the earth, up through your feet, through your knees, up to your hips, just into your tummy area there, sacral area, and just breathing there for us. So let's breathe into this area now. Take a deep breath in, and a big ha. Take a deep breath in, and a big ha, letting go any tension. As we're moving the energy up now, we're also scanning our body for any tension, any holding, just noticing it, not judging it or making assessment on it other than just noticing it. So bring in the energy from the core of Mother Earth now, up through the sacral area. And let's bring it right up into our heart center. And as we bring it up into the heart center, take a deep breath in and a big ha. And as we breathe in the heart center, I want us to breathe a little bit like Pilates breathing. Breathe outwards, not just in and out. So on our rib cage, let's do 3 breaths outwards. Take a deep breath in and a big ha. Take a deep breath in, outwards, and a big ha. Take a deep breath in and a big ha. And then again, noticing the energy coming from the core of the earth, Mother Earth, right up through your feet, right up through your sacral area into your heart. And let's bring it right up to our throat chakra now. And let's bring some energy up here and let's breathe into our throat chakra. Take a deep breath in and acknowledging the power of our throat chakra, breathing out. Take a deep breath in, breathing out. Take a deep breath in, breathing out. Releasing anything here. If anyone needs to cough or anything like that, you know what you need to do, just releasing it and letting it go now. Beautiful, beautiful. Now back into the core of the earth, Mother Earth holding us, bringing the energy right through the sacral area, into the heart, into the throat chakra, and right up to the crown, and breathing right up to the crown, up into Father Sky, up into universal energy. So just do that now. Take a deep breath in, and then out the top, take a deep breath in, and out your top. Take a deep breath in, and out your top. Now I am moving at quite a pace here on purpose. I just want to activate some energy here rather than just being completely still. We'll go into stillness in a moment. Now acknowledging again the energy coming through the core of the earth, right through Mother Earth, right up through sacral, heart, throat, crown, and up into universal space. Let's do a nice 3 big breaths down from Mother Earth right up through to crown. Take a deep breath in. Bring it right through and up through the crown. Take a deep breath in and up through your crown. Take a deep breath in and up through your crown. Now, I want you to invite in your higher self now, your higher self, or any of your team. You might call it your team. It might be I'm not sure who it is for you, but for me, it's like your higher self, your angels, your guides, whoever wants to come through here right now to guide you with this activation and to support you with gaining the wisdom that you're choosing to receive this evening. And as we're calling in our team now, we're going to be speaking out to them. And if you're by yourself there, you can speak this out loud. Your intention now for this integration. So speaking right now to your team, to your higher self, your intention for this integration. It might go something like this. My intention for this activation and integration is to gain clarity of the physical model that I need to begin or consider working with right now. Okay, so you're going to set that intention now. Just take a moment. Keep it simple. Keep it very simple. State your intention now. When you've stated your intention, just continue to breathe. So we're going to use breath through this process to continue to allow ourselves to expand. So I'm going to call in my team now, the team that supports me with the work that I do. You may have your own team, and with your permission, I'll also be able to share and bring through this process with my team. So just taking a moment to connect in with anything that is your higher self or your higher source now. Connecting in now. And just remembering that sometimes we need to invite our soul family or our team to come and support us. So just now, let's invite, just in your own mind, inviting them now, welcoming them in. And you're going to say, I welcome in your support those that are here for the highest of the most highest good, from the most physical to the most spiritual. So asking them now will invite you in to support this process only if you are here for the highest good, my highest good, from the most spiritual to the most physical now. And as we invite them in now, we allow ourselves to start to relax and just relax into this journey in meditation and start to receive some of the insights and gifts that is clearly here for you this evening. So what we're going to do now, just expanding the energy out right now. You can expand your energy out to your capacity that you can. We're going to ask for some wisdom to come forth. The question being, in what area do I need most activation right now? Keep it simple. In what area do I need most activation right now? And take a deep breath in and release it and listen. In what area do I need most activation right now? Now listen to what comes forth for you. Allow yourself just to accept what's come through. Just if you're unsure of what's come through, just check in. Is this for my highest good, from the most physical to the most spiritual? Yes or no? If it's a yes, listen. If it's a no, delete. This is something we also need to do more of in the physical world, is asking, is this for my highest good, from the most physical to the most spiritual? Yes, invite it in. No, delete or block. So as we look on the activation, I want you to consider now that there's a big door in front of you, a big old wooden door. And that wooden door is like a wooden door in Bali, those beautiful big double Balinese doors. And I want you to walk towards these beautiful big doors. They're very heavy and dense, but they're very clear for you that this is a doorway to walk through. So walk up to the big wooden Balinese doors now. And now we're going to enter through these doors into another space. So gently walk towards the doors, and you notice that they open with ease and grace. And as you move through the doors, on the other side is the most magnificent green grass, vibrant green grass. You're in this incredible space of nature. You look up and around and you see the most vibrant, fluorescent blue butterflies just flying everywhere. And as you notice them, how they're light and playful, and they dance around, you start to continue to move forward, now walking on that soft, luscious green grass with your bare feet. And in the distance, you notice an incredibly large oak tree. And that incredibly large oak tree has the most magnificent roots. Extraordinary roots from the ground that go deep, deep, deep into Mother Earth. And as you look up at the trunk, you look up at it with magnificence, gratitude, and appreciation for all the growth that is there. And then up into its branches as they expand out. At the bottom of the tree, there is a wooden park bench. You walk over to the wooden park bench and you sit down. And as you sit down, the bench becomes super comfortable and you relax. And you start to feel like you're at home. Home meaning a place that's safe, that's free, that's kind, that's loving, that's beautiful. And you smile to yourself as you're sitting on the bench at the bottom of the tree. And here at the bottom of the tree is where you can fully activate that in which you need to focus on right now. So let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this thing that you need to focus on right now. And let's unpack it. So kind of like a lunchbox, the modern day lunchbox with all the different compartments and layers in it. You're going to open the lid of the lunchbox and you're going to notice all the pieces inside. And we want you to bring each piece out in relation to what it is you're needing to activate right now. Perhaps for me, I might be activating my new business model. So I'm going to bring all the pieces out, the parts of the business that I've been playing with. I've got my retreats I used to run. I've perhaps got my different parts of the model. So whatever it is that you are trying to activate this evening, let's unpack it and bring it out like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle and put it out in front of you on the park bench. And as you look at these wonderful pieces, just do this with ease and grace. No need to get all the answers right now. Just allow them to come through. All these pieces have played a significant role in your life up until now, or your business, or your mission, or your purpose. So as you're looking at all these pieces now, we want to look up to the tree and notice as you're looking up the branches of the root, the trunk of the tree and up to all of the branches on the tree, you notice that they go for miles. They're all the possibilities. So you come back down to your jigsaw puzzles and your pieces you've unpacked. And we want to disrupt them. We want to question which parts or pieces are coming through to the next phase with you. Which parts or pieces may need to be released right now. And which parts and pieces will just dissolve away. So we're going to release some. We're just not going to focus on some because they're not relevant. And which parts are the pieces we need to really disrupt and challenge. Disrupt means to shake things up, to consider new ways, perhaps to be truthful about something you haven't been truthful before. So as you look at the pieces of the jigsaw, you look up at the trunk of the tree again, to the major branches right up into the sky and all the possibilities. You look down at your pieces and decide which parts are coming forth with you. Which parts are you releasing now? And perhaps there'll be some new pieces coming through soon. So just allow your mind to play. This is not not your mind to play. That's incorrect. Allow yourself to play. Allow your spirit to play with this. This is not about a heady process, getting it right or wrong. Just allow yourself to relax into this. Jigsaw puzzle, you're playing like you would as a child. And as you see the pieces you're taking forward in the jigsaw puzzle, just pick those pieces up. And we're now going to stand up from the bench and walk across to the most extraordinary lake. It's one of those emerald lakes. That green, turquoise green is absolutely phenomenal. You're going to walk over to the side of the lake and sit down next to it. And those pieces of the puzzle that you're taking with you, you're going to put those onto the lake and they're just going to float there with ease and grace. And you're going to start to wonder, perhaps even fish for in the lake, what other opportunities perhaps, or what other pieces need to come forth right now for me to be able to fulfill the purpose, and activate the area that needs attention. So let me ask that question again and give you some silence to process this. What pieces need to appear now for you to be able to activate that area in which you're focusing on this evening? Sitting by the side of the lake, just going to give you a moment to be in silence and stillness. You can tap into all the wisdom you have, your higher self, your guides, your family, soul family. And just ask that question now. What are the pieces that I need right now? Noticing if there's many monkey mind playing here. What are the pieces? Just allow whatever comes through. And as the pieces come to you, you're fishing them up from the lake. Bring them in closer to you. And take a deep breath in. And a big ha. Take a deep breath in. And a big ha. Take a deep breath in. And a big ha. And thank your higher self, your guides, your soul family, the wisdom. Thank you for bringing that through right now. Knowing that you'll be able to process that after we finish this evening, even when you're sleeping tonight, or when we connect in person. So, let's stand up from beside the lake with these new pieces of wisdom that are going to guide you to continue to activate, to be able to move closer to a full integration in the areas that you need support with right now. So as you're standing there, I want you to look over to your right. And I want you to notice a most amazing field of sunflowers. You know, those beautiful, vibrant sunflowers. They are magnificent sunflowers. I feel like they're always smiling at me. So I want you to imagine now with a smile on your face that these sunflowers, there's a meadow just to your right, not too far. And you're going to walk over to this meadow where sunflowers are. And as you walk over to the meadow with the sunflowers, you're going to notice a whole group of other people playing amongst the sunflowers. These sunflowers are so tall you can hardly see the people, but you're able to see that there are people playing amongst the sunflowers. These people might be physical humans, these people might be beings from other realms. It doesn't matter. Whatever they are, I want you to walk over and notice that they are full of vibrancy and joy. And as they're full of vibrancy and joy, I want you just to not acknowledge that they're there. And as you stand here amongst the sunflowers, I want you to consider who your sunflowers are. Who are the sunflowers in your life right now? Perhaps sunflowers you haven't fully engaged with or met before. Perhaps sunflowers that have been there from your past, but you haven't seen much of. Perhaps sunflowers in the form of teachers. Sunflowers in the form of friends and family and loved ones. And there's definitely sunflowers there that you've never met before. And as you look at all these opportunities, all these different beings or human beings or beings of light, you start to consider, who is in my sunflower circle? Who is in my quantum circle? I want you to reveal to yourself who those people are. Maybe perhaps even just 3 to 5 people. And if that isn't obvious for you right now, that's perfectly okay. If it is obvious for you right now, I want you just to acknowledge those people now and ask them, are you here for my highest good? If they're here for your highest good, the highest from the most physical to the most spiritual, then acknowledge that perhaps they may have a place moving forward. If there's anyone in those circles right now that isn't here for your highest good, then of course you have the choice to release those people with love and kindness so that they may go off on their journey and you can bring in new sunflowers or quantum circle members. So when we're talking about our quantum circle here, we're talking about collaboration, revealing who is there for you now, what needs to shift or change. And the way that we visualize this is to see everyone as a sunflower. However, not all sunflowers are here for our highest good. And it's giving ourselves permission to release. Now, as you look at some of the sunflowers perhaps that have remained, if there aren't any sunflowers for you, even absolutely no problem. You'll be bringing those sunflowers towards you now. Just trusting this process and allowing the creative mind to play. As you look around these sunflowers, we want to consider the vibrancy of each of them. Perhaps the brightness of the yellow petals or the strength of the stalks. Yeah. So it's recognizing the value in others. And of course, 100% recognizing the value in yourself. So for this process here, we're just keeping it simple for now as our introduction activation together, to consider who these people may be from both the physical human perspective or plane or realm, and both from a spiritual realm as well. So taking 3 deep breaths in. Take a deep breath in. And aha. Take a deep breath in. And aha. Take a deep breath in. And aha. Beautiful. So taking a photograph now of the beautiful sunflowers. Now let's move off to our left. Turn around and walk back in the direction we came, where the big oak tree is. And as we go back to sit down on the bench underneath the oak tree, we're going to sit down there now and really center in to ourselves. Again, acknowledging our higher self, acknowledging any other support guides or beings that are with us. And here we're going to make a decision. That area that you need activating in, you can now see some of the new pieces that need to be brought forth. We've gone and fished for new pieces, and you have those with you now, even if they're not completely clear yet. We've gone and visited the flowers and the sunflowers and perhaps released some of the cords to some of the sunflowers, considered that for now, and even began to dream of the others that we could begin to collaborate with. And as we come into this moment now on the bench, We're going to speak directly to our higher self, however that may look for you. So take a deep breath in and a big ha. And as you're speaking to your higher self now, you're going to ask them this question. You may be speaking also to other realms. What is the expansion that I need most right now? And listen. What is the expansion that I need most right now? And listen. And as you receive those messages for yourself now, allow yourself to just really feel those, the messages that are for your highest good, from the most physical to the most spiritual. Just taking note of those messages that come through for you now. Acknowledging those messages. And ask the question, is there anything else I need to hear? And listen. Is there anything else I need to hear? And listen. Is there anything else I need to receive? And listen. And as you're sitting there, I'm going to share with you now some of the messages that I'm receiving right now for us as a group here this evening. Acknowledging your process fully. Together as light workers, we are called to come together. We are called to come together and collaborate for a greater collective impact. When once before, perhaps spirituality or spiritual work was judged as only for service, where many, many spiritual leaders chose to work without receiving the abundance for their human life, this has dramatically shifted. The abundance is waiting and available for all of us. Okay. All of us have a responsibility to fully receive to the level of which we have done the work. This is not about worth. This is about truth. It is our responsibility as human beings to continue to open up to the full abundance of the universe. The full abundance of love that is here with us right now. The absolute divine love that wraps itself around us. It is for our choice to make. For all of us as souls have the same collective purpose. We have chosen to be here at this time. So for channeling all our focus towards that which is of light and love, acknowledging the darkness that many of us have walked through and experienced already, and allowing ourselves and giving ourselves full permission to activate those areas that require the work, to collaborate for exponential support, guidance, and growth and to expand to heights that we've never expanded to before. Take a deep breath in. And a big ha. Take a deep breath in. And a big ha. And one more. Take a deep breath in. And a big ha. So as you're sitting on the bench at the bottom of the big oak tree, you just want to stand up now. Thank and acknowledge the oak tree and its presence for grounding us and stabilizing us. And thanking our higher self, our soul family, our guides for the wisdom that they have brought through. Now we stand up from the bench and walk over to your left. And as you see into the distance, you see the most magnificent waterfall. The most divine and magnificent waterfall you've ever seen. It's like crystals of water flowing down. And as you approach the waterfall now, we're going to, in a moment, walk through the waterfall and cleanse of anything that doesn't need to return with us back into the physical realm. So walking towards the waterfall, bringing all the wisdom with us, and approaching the waterfall now, walking through this waterfall now, cleansing, severing anything that doesn't need to come with us, cleansing it all off, shaking it all off now, so we can come back into the human realm, into our bodies now, cleansed and clear, bringing with us all the wisdom that we've begun to play with this evening. This is just the beginning. And as you slowly come back into your body, right back into your body now. When you're ready, you can take a deep breath in and open your eyes. And as you open your eyes, you can start to bring yourself back. Thank you for coming on this journey with me this evening. It's just the beginning of many journeys to come. I hope that you have a wonderful sleep tonight. If you need to do any clearing or further smudging, I'm trusting that you have all worked with energy before and you know what you need to do. Drink lots of water. And I want to remind you of the invitation to book in with the link that I shared with you earlier. Let me just bring this back for you now. Just while you're coming back to yourself, just so you can see this here. In this consult call after this activation, I've got 7 sessions available Friday, Saturday, and Monday. This is the link. If you would like to connect with me one-on-one, I would love to hear about where you are and where you're hoping to be and what support you might need in the future. In that session, we will be talking all about you and all about your needs. And my intention from that session is to, 1, be able to perhaps clarify any questions that have come up this evening. 2, to connect with you. We'll be doing this via Zoom call, so some real connection with you one-on-one. And 3, if we do feel there's an opportunity to move forward and work together, it would be my honour to work with you through the process of perhaps bringing through some of these areas we talked about earlier, perhaps upgrading, activating, translating your purpose. So I won't say any more now because I'm sure you're in a beautiful, dreamy state. And just any comments in the chat box about how you've received this evening, I'll be most grateful. And also just a good night to each and every one of you. Thank you for entrusting me with your evening. This is just the beginning of a whole new way of working and moving forward in the future. So I bless you all, I honour you all, and thank you sincerely for all the work that you're already doing for your humanity right now. So if you want to pop a little goodbye in the chat box, if you've got the energy there, thanks so much, Pip. It's been wonderful to have you here. I love you too. And this is just the beginning. If you're ready to collaborate, reach out. I am open to collaboration on all levels where there is a strong and clear clarity. And so feel free to come forth with anything that you would like to talk about as far as collaborating. Let's do this together. There are too many of us doing it alone. It's time to collaborate, and I'm here and love you all so much. I'm all gooey and loved up right now, so you can probably see there's been some beautiful energies come through. So much love, and I really honour you all. Good night, everybody.